You want to know how to stay calm and positive in life and then stop chasing comfort? Calm isn't peace, it's control. Most people think calm means smiling while the world burns. Calm is standing in the fire and not flinching. It's the silence before you move, cold, strategic, deliberate. Positivity isn't blind hope either. It's a weapon. It's seeing the chaos, the betrayal, the failure, and still saying, I'm unbreakable. Because real strength doesn't deny pain. It uses it. Machiavelli said, men are ruled by love or fear. A calm man masters both. He doesn't react. He decides. He knows when to smile and when to strike. Every emotion you control becomes a weapon. Every reaction you suppress becomes energy stored in your chest, waiting to be released with precision. You want power? Then stop letting people make you feel. Let them think they do, but inside, remain still. A man who owns his emotions owns his enemies. Comment this now. I decide, not react. Because the moment you master that, you stop being human. You become inevitable. 1. The art of emotional detachment. Listen closely. If you want to stay calm and positive, you must first become emotionally untouchable. Not numb, strategic. There's a difference. Weak men react, strong men observe. While others drown in feelings, the calm man studies patterns. He doesn't ask, why did this happen to me? He asks, what can I use from this? Machiavelli knew. Emotion clouds judgment, and judgment shapes destiny. Detach, not to escape reality, but to command it. When they insult you, you smirk. When they betray you, you thank them for the lesson. Every wound becomes data. Every loss becomes leverage. Positivity isn't repeating, I'm fine. It's saying, I'm forged by this. It's standing in the ashes and realizing you are the fire. The calm man wins because nothing disturbs him. The world runs on reaction. He runs on strategy. He's not loud, he's lethal. So remember this. Emotions are guests. Power is the host. Control who stays. Comment this now. I own my emotions. Let them know you've stepped into a higher league, because from here on out, feelings serve you. T2, calculated positivity, turning pain into power, 300 words. Pain is the purest form of truth. It strips away illusion. It shows you what's real. Most people run from pain. They bury it under fake smiles and empty affirmations. But not you. You're here to weaponize it. Calculated positivity isn't about pretending life is good. It's about mastering perception. When something breaks you, you don't collapse. You study it. You ask, what does this pain teach me? What weakness does it expose? That's Machiavellian positivity, not naive optimism. Strategic transmutation. You turn betrayal into wisdom, rejection into redirection, loss into fuel. You smile not because you're happy, but because you've seen through the game. You understand that every pain is data, every setback is leverage. The crowd suffers, the strategist harvests. This is how kings are built, not through comfort, but calibration. Every scar becomes armor, every hardship a lesson in power. So next time pain visits, don't curse it. Invite it in, interrogate it, ask it what it came to teach you about control. And when it leaves, you'll stand colder, calmer, sharper, unbreakable. Comment this now. Pain refines me, never defines me. Because when pain no longer shakes you, you become the storm itself. That's calculated positivity. 3. Mastering presence, the aura of controlled power. Presence isn't about being noticed. It's about being felt. The room changes when you enter, not because you speak, but because you don't need to. Machiavelli understood this well. He wrote that a prince must appear powerful, even when he is not, because perception is power. If they believe you are unshakable, they will treat you as such. Presence is an aura built from inner order, the way you stand, the way your eyes stay still while others dart around, the way your silence stretches until others begin to doubt themselves. This isn't arrogance, It's composure weaponized. You don't compete for attention, you command it. People feel your energy long before they hear your words. If your mind is chaotic, your presence dissolves. If your mind is calm, your presence dominates. The calm man radiates certainty. He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't chase validation. Because power never chases, it draws. When you walk into a room, remember, every gesture is communication. Every pause is influence. When you slow down, time bends around you. That's psychological gravity, the mark of inner kingship. Train this. Walk slower, speak less, observe more, be deliberate. You're sculpting an aura of inevitability, and when people feel it, they won't understand it. They'll just sense something. That cold, disciplined confidence that says, I cannot be moved. That's presence. Not noise, not ego, just command. Comment this now. My silence speaks power. Because true power doesn't need validation. It creates it. From now on, walk as if the ground belongs to you. Not because it does, but because you've mastered yourself enough to deserve it. That's the aura of controlled power. That's how kings move. Quietly, deliberately, unstoppably, not denial, domination. 4. Emotional chess, reading and controlling people. Life is a chessboard. Most people play checkers, reacting, jumping, moving fast and thinking slow. But if you want to stay calm, positive and powerful, you must think 10 moves ahead. This is emotional chess. Every person around you is a piece, each with motives, insecurities and hidden desires. Your job isn't to destroy them. Your job is to understand them. Because when you understand someone deeper than they understand themselves, you own the game. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise ruler cannot and should not keep his word when it places him at a disadvantage." In modern terms, don't show your full hand. People reveal everything when they feel safe. So create safety, but never lose awareness. Let them talk. Let them vent. Let them underestimate you. Every word they speak is intelligence. Every emotion they expose is leverage. Never fight fire with fire. Control the flame instead. When someone tries to provoke you, don't react. Analyze. Ask yourself, what outcome are they trying to create? Then do the opposite. That's power. To control others, you must first control yourself. If you can't master your impulses, you'll forever be a pawn in someone else's plan. So slow down, observe patterns. Notice who gets nervous in silence. Notice who over-explains. Notice who seeks validation the loudest. Those are the easiest to move. When you learn emotional detachment, empathy becomes strategy. You don't feel what others feel. You read what they feel. And when you read emotions without drowning in them, you become the architect of every interaction. A Machiavellian mind knows how to reward and withdraw, praise and isolate, comfort and confuse, all in perfect balance to shape outcomes. But remember, this is not cruelty. This is control. Cold, precise, psychological control. Because life is not fair and survival doesn't reward purity, it rewards mastery. You can love people but don't depend on them. You can trust people but still test them. Never let your emotions blind your strategy. Smile with calm dominance. Speak like a mirror, reflecting what they need to see. That's how influence works. Quiet manipulation, invisible direction. Every move is either power gained or power lost. There is no middle ground, so learn to play the emotional chessboard with patience and precision. Be charming but unreadable, empathetic but calculating, human but untouchable. Comment this now. I move in silence and control with precision. Because when you master emotional chess, you stop reacting to life and start writing its script. 5. The discipline of ruthless self-control. Self-control is not a virtue, it's a weapon. Every man who loses it becomes predictable, and the predictable man is already conquered. In this world, your emotions are your greatest weakness and your greatest resource. The difference? Control. Machiavelli said, "He who masters fortune masters himself." Fortune doesn't mean luck, it means chaos. Control yourself, and chaos bows before you. Ruthless self-control means you no longer move from impulse. You move from intention. You speak when words serve your outcome. You act when silence has done its work. You feel, but you never flinch. Most people crumble when provoked. They expose their egos, defend their pride, and lose their composure. But the disciplined man lets the insult echo in his mind like a test, then smiles. Because nothing threatens a man who owns his reactions. This control isn't built overnight. It's forged through friction. Every irritation is training. Every delay is a test. Patience isn't weakness. It's the sharpening of your blade. To control yourself, you must first observe yourself. Notice your impulses. Notice when your breathing changes, when anger rises, when fear whispers. Don't suppress it, study it. Awareness is the first strike. Then comes resistance. Train your discipline like a muscle. Resist the urge to speak first. Resist the need to explain. Resist the instinct to chase. Each resistance builds presence. Each silence grows power. Understand this. Control is not about pretending to feel nothing. It's about being able to feel everything and remain unmoved. When you can experience rage without reaction, temptation without surrender, pressure without panic, you've crossed into elite territory. This is where most men fail. They seek peace through escape. But the Stoic strategist finds peace in pressure. He looks chaos in the eye and says, "Move," and chaos obeys. Self-control gives you freedom. The freedom to think when others are blinded by emotion. The freedom to decide instead of react. The freedom to rule yourself, so no one else can. And once you control yourself, you control outcomes. People bend toward the calm. Situations bend toward patience. Fortune bends toward focus. Comment this now. I am the master of reaction. Because when you control yourself with ruthless precision, you're not surviving the storm. You are the storm. That is self-control, cold, strategic, absolute. 6. Strategic detachment, the power of walking away. Power isn't just what you can control, it's what you can walk away from. Most men cling. They cling to people, jobs, relationships, validation, anything that gives them identity. But the Machiavellian mind knows attachment is a leash. The more you need, the easier you are to control. Detachment isn't apathy, it's precision. It means caring by choice, not by compulsion. It means mastering investment, knowing where your time, energy, and emotion earn return, and cutting off what doesn't without hesitation. Machiavelli said, "A wise man acts in all things so that he can never be ruined by fortune." That means never depending entirely on anything outside your control. Not approval, not loyalty, not comfort. You must be ready to burn bridges if those bridges lead to weakness. That's strategic detachment. The ability to walk away, not because you don't care, but because you won't kneel. The calm man isn't cold because he hates. He's cold because he values his peace more than connection. He gives without attachment, helps without expectation, loves without losing himself. This is psychological independence, the highest form of emotional intelligence. Because when nothing owns you, nothing can break you. Most people fear being alone. But solitude isn't loneliness, it's clarity. It's where you recalibrate, rebuild, and remember who the hell you are. You see the patterns. You see who drains you, who manipulates you, who disguises weakness as loyalty. Then you return, not emotional, but armed. Detachment teaches control through distance. You stop explaining yourself. You stop arguing with fools. You stop begging for understanding, because the moment you explain your worth, you've already lowered it. Walk away not with rage, but with silence. Silence cuts deeper than words. It leaves them questioning themselves, rewinding every moment, wondering how they lost access to your energy. That's power. The absence of you becomes a statement louder than your presence ever could. Every time you detach, you reclaim energy. Energy you once wasted on convincing, proving, defending, that energy becomes focus. Focus becomes creation, and creation becomes dominance. Never beg for attention. Never chase what retreats. Never fight to stay where you're not respected. Because a man who knows how to walk away never loses. He chooses. Understand this. Detachment doesn't make you heartless. It makes you sovereign. It means you can give from power, not from lack. You can engage without dependency. You can love without being enslaved by emotion. That's what separates the calm strategist from the emotional pawn. The pawn reacts to loss. The strategist turns loss into leverage. So next time life tests you, when someone leaves, when something collapses, when plans burn, don't chase. Step back, watch. Let the silence do its work. Because in that stillness, your power recalibrates. Comment this now. I walk away with power, not pain. Say it until it sinks in. Because when you can detach without fear, you've mastered one of the rarest skills alive. The ability to own yourself completely. Strategic detachment isn't giving up, it's leveling up. It's choosing clarity over chaos, peace over pride, discipline over drama. And when you walk away with your calm intact, you don't lose people. You lose weakness. That's how kings stay untouchable. Not by holding tighter, but by knowing when to let go. 7. The calculus of power. Using perception as a weapon. Power is not always about what you control. Sometimes it's about what they believe you control. That's the Machiavellian truth. Perception outweighs reality. You can be powerful and unnoticed, or powerless but appear untouchable. Guess which one the world respects? Exactly. Perception is the currency of influence. Understand this. People don't respond to truth. They respond to appearance. They don't follow strength. They follow what looks like strength. They don't obey reason. They obey confidence. That's why a calm man, standing in silence, can dominate a room filled with louder, wealthier, more emotional men. Machiavelli wrote, "It is not necessary to be virtuous, but to appear so." In today's world, translate that as, you don't need to show power, you need to project inevitability. Your posture, tone, and eyes must say what your words never have to. The great strategists don't reveal their moves. They reveal only enough to suggest they're always 3 steps ahead. Perception manipulation is an art. Be predictable in small things, unpredictable in the crucial ones. Give them comfort, then surprise. Make them underestimate, then regret it. To control perception, you must control your image. Every word, every pause, every glance must serve purpose. Never be reactive, emotional, or defensive. Because when you explain yourself, you surrender dominance. When you overreact, you reveal need. And need is weakness. Let others chase attention while you build mystery. Let them flaunt, you withdraw. Let them speak, you calculate. Because mystery creates value. The less they know, the more they imagine. And imagination always exaggerates power. That's psychological gravity. The world bends around those who appear certain, calm, and dangerous. You don't need to threaten. You don't need to raise your voice. You just need to exist like someone who knows too much and fears too little. Control your image like a chessboard. Your allies should see stability. Your rivals should see unpredictability. Your enemies should see inevitability. Keep each perception balanced. Never let anyone see the full board. And when you decide to reveal strength, do it with precision. Show results, not effort. Power that doesn't announce itself strikes deeper. They shouldn't see your grind. They should feel your presence. Even your calmness can be weaponized. In an argument, the first to lose composure loses control. In negotiation, the first to speak loses leverage. The Machiavellian doesn't rush. He waits. He lets silence tighten around the opponent like a noose. Perception is also built through reputation. Guard yours like a weapon, not a trophy. Reputation is a psychological investment. It precedes you, protects you, and manipulates for you. Make people believe you are disciplined, efficient, and emotionally untouchable. Then, you no longer need to prove it. This is why calmness is a superpower. It gives others the illusion that you are never threatened. And illusion, my friend, is control. Your calm presence should whisper, "I know something you don't." Your eyes should say, "I've already won." Your energy should communicate, "You can't shake me." When you master this level of perception, you no longer compete for power, you attract it. People start deferring to you unconsciously. They mirror your tone, lower their voice, and follow your tempo. They can't explain why, they just feel your command. That's the calculus of power. It's not about force, it's about influence through image, silence, and precision. It's about playing the invisible game and always appearing inevitable. Comment this now: I project power, I never chase it. Let it echo, let it become your new law. Because once you master perception, you become the ghost in every hierarchy. The man they can't read, can't break, can't replace. That's not arrogance, that's control perfected. That's psychological empire. 8. Cold empathy. Manipulating with understanding. To control others, you must first understand them. But understanding does not mean caring. It means seeing through them. Cold empathy is the ability to enter someone's world, to feel what they feel, to read their fears, desires, and weaknesses, and still remain untouched. Most people think empathy is softness, but real empathy, stripped of emotion, becomes one of the sharpest tools of domination. It allows you to predict, to influence, to steer. Machiavelli knew this. A ruler must understand the hearts of men, but never let those hearts rule him. In other words, study emotion, don't drown in it. Cold empathy is about perception without participation. You listen deeply, but you do not identify. You feel, but you don't attach. You observe the storm without stepping into it. People reveal themselves through pain. When someone complains, when they gossip, when they vent, it's data. Every word is a map to their emotional landscape. You learn their insecurities, their triggers, their hidden hunger for approval. Once you know those, you can lead them. This isn't cruelty. It's power with precision. Because leadership, persuasion, and influence all depend on one thing: understanding psychology faster than others. The man with cold empathy can move through any crowd and blend in, while quietly controlling its direction. He mirrors emotions when needed, projects compassion when strategic, and withdraws warmth when leverage demands it. He gives people the illusion of connection while maintaining total autonomy inside. This is the secret of charisma. It's not emotional explosion, it's emotional calibration. It's knowing when to be soft enough to be trusted and hard enough to be respected. You must learn the language of human nature. The tone shifts, the micro-expressions, the patterns of insecurity. Study how people chase validation. Study what they avoid. Study how they respond to praise versus pressure. Every reaction teaches you control. Machiavelli would say, men love by choice, but they fear by instinct. Cold empathy allows you to speak to both. You give warmth when it opens doors, and withdraw it when you need submission. You reward loyalty with attention. You punish betrayal with silence. That silence burns deeper than any confrontation. To practice cold empathy, start with discipline. When someone speaks, stop thinking about your response. Listen, watch, collect data. Ask yourself, what does this person want to feel right now? Then give it to them, or deny it, based on your goal. Never react emotionally in real time. Respond strategically in delayed precision. The difference between amateurs and manipulators is timing. People crave to be understood, and when you make them feel understood, they lower their guard. Once their guard is down, influence begins. You become their mirror, their comfort, their invisible compass. But remember, empathy without boundaries is enslavement. Cold empathy means you feel others without losing yourself. It's power cloaked as kindness. You can care, but always with control. You can help, but never at your expense. Because the moment someone can manipulate your compassion, you've surrendered your throne. True control isn't about domination, it's about direction. You direct people toward outcomes that serve balance, order, and strength. That's the Machiavellian paradox: to manipulate without malice, to influence without attachment. So when they ask how you remain calm while others rage, tell them this: I feel everything. I'm just not ruled by it. Comment this now: I see through emotions, not into them. Because the man who sees clearly cannot be deceived. Cold empathy is the hidden empire of influence. Those who master it don't shout, they guide. They don't dominate through fear, they move through understanding. That's how you lead armies, build alliances, and dismantle enemies, without raising your voice. Cold empathy doesn't make you inhuman. It makes you inevitable. 9. The fortress mind. Building psychological armor. The strongest fortress isn't made of stone. It's built inside your mind. Empires fall, wealth disappears, allies betray, but a fortified mind endures. Machiavelli warned rulers that a fortress could either protect them or imprison them. The wise man builds his fortress within, unseen, unbreachable, and portable. The fortress mind is forged from 3 elements: discipline, detachment, and direction. Discipline keeps the chaos out. Detachment keeps emotion in check. Direction gives the structure purpose. Every day the world tries to breach your defenses. It tempts you with comfort, provokes you with emotion, distracts you with noise. If your walls are weak, you crumble. But if your mind is fortified, you watch the storm from the tower, unmoved. This is not about isolation, it's about control. You can walk through fire and remain cool because you no longer take life personally. You've stopped expecting fairness, approval, or mercy. That's freedom. Your thoughts are soldiers. Train them. Every time you indulge weakness, one soldier falls. Every time you resist impulse, a new one rises. And soon, you command an army of discipline inside your skull. When fear attacks, do not retreat. Observe it like a general studying the enemy's formation. Fear always reveals where your walls are thin. Reinforce them with logic. When guilt tries to breach the gate, question it. Is it teaching or manipulation? If it's growth, keep it. If it's control, exile it. When doubt sneaks in through the cracks, remember this: confidence is not arrogance. It's certainty earned through battle scars. Every failure you've survived is another stone in your fortress. The Machiavellian mind doesn't seek peace in stillness. It finds peace in preparation. It doesn't pray for easy days, it prepares for hard ones. Because the man who expects the storm never fears the rain. Build rituals that reinforce your fortress. Wake early, not to impress anyone, but to remind yourself that you command your time. Train your body, not for vanity, but to synchronize mind and muscle. Keep your space clean, not for appearance, but for discipline. Order outside reflects order within. Guard your inputs like a king guards his gates. Not every voice deserves entry. Limit distractions, filter negativity. Consume content that sharpens your edge, not dulls your intent. Understand that energy leaks through reaction. Every time you argue, over-explain, or defend your worth, you drain your fortress. Silence is a wall, use it. Indifference is armor, polish it. And most importantly, remember the architecture of control. The foundation, clarity of purpose. The walls, daily discipline. The gates, selective emotion. The watchtowers, self-awareness. The weapons, patience and precision. The fortress mind doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you decide what deserves feeling. You don't suppress emotions, you assign them. Anger becomes strategy, sadness becomes depth, fear becomes foresight. Every attack becomes construction material. Pain adds new towers, loss builds new walls, betrayal sharpens your gates. You don't run from battle, you integrate it into your design. That's what makes you indestructible. Not absence of struggle, but mastery of it. And yes, there will be moments of loneliness at the top of your tower. But solitude is not a weakness, it's the tax of power. Use it, think, rebuild. No ruler consults the crowd for direction. When you emerge from the fortress, do it with calm dominance. Move slow, speak measured. Let people feel the weight of your internal order. The man who governs his inner world makes the outer one irrelevant. This is the final evolution of calm and positivity, not fake smiles, but quiet sovereignty. You're no longer tossed by waves, you are the tide. You don't chase peace, you generate it. You don't hope for strength, you embody it. Comment this now. My mind is my fortress. Let that phrase seal your intent like steel doors closing shut. Because when your inner fortress stands unshaken, the world can attack, betray, or collapse, and you will remain unbent, unbroken, unmoved. That is the ultimate Machiavellian calm. Not a mask, not denial, but a fortress of reason surrounded by walls of purpose, a kingdom that no man, no failure, and no chaos can ever breach. 10. The untouchable. Becoming the calm within chaos. There comes a point when control, power, and understanding merge into something higher, untouchability. It's not arrogance, it's not ignorance, it's transcendence. When you master calmness, you stop reacting to chaos. When you master positivity, you stop needing the world to validate you. When you master detachment, you stop being moved by wins or losses. You reach the level where nothing external defines you. That is the essence of being untouchable. Machiavelli understood the art of survival through dominance, deception, and discipline. But beyond his politics lies a deeper psychology, one that applies not to kings, but to conquerors of self. Because the final battlefield is not the world, it's your own mind. The untouchable man doesn't seek peace. He creates it. He walks through chaos like a ghost, present, aware, but unshaken. His calmness is his armor, his composure, his crown. The world feeds on reaction. Outrage sells. Anger fuels algorithms. Weakness feeds predators. But your calm presence defies the game entirely. It breaks systems designed to provoke emotion. When people try to attack your image, you stay silent. When they misjudge you, you let them. When they expect a reaction, you give them calculation instead. And in that stillness, they crumble. Because nothing disarms chaos faster than indifference. It's not passive, it's power disguised as patience. This is where true positivity lives, not in empty affirmations, but in unwavering awareness. You no longer call every event good or bad. You see it all as necessary. Every betrayal, every pain, every delay was a teacher, and every teacher forged you sharper. The untouchable mind doesn't need constant motivation. It's self-sustaining. It fuels itself with order, not emotion. It knows that every outcome, win or loss, feeds evolution. You no longer ask, why me? You ask, what is this sharpening? That's cold optimism. That's Stoic mastery. You don't drown in positivity. You govern it. You use it as a lens to shape outcomes. Understand this. Calmness is not compliance. It's dominance through stillness. A man who can stand unshaken in conflict controls the pace of every exchange. His silence bends tempers. His patience starves aggression. His certainty redirects chaos. People feel that energy. They sense the calm force that doesn't need to prove itself. That's why true calm men are feared. Not because they're loud, but because they're unreadable. You want to be untouchable? Then master these principles. 1. Respond, never react. Reaction is slavery to impulse. Response is the art of kings. 2. Predict patterns. Every human repeats themselves. Study behavior, not words. Predict motives, not moods. Third, guard energy. Every interaction costs something. Spend it with purpose. 4. Stay unpredictable. Predictability breeds control for others. Controlled unpredictability breeds fear for you. 5. Remember the hierarchy of emotion. Anger burns fast. Calm burns forever. That's the playbook of the untouchable mind. Machiavelli would call this virtù, the excellence of control. It's the ability to adapt, endure, and dominate through presence. It's not about being cruel, it's about being effective. When others panic, you pause. When they doubt, you decide. When they surrender, you start. That is your edge. You see, the untouchable man doesn't run from life's brutality. He absorbs it, processes it, and converts it into insight. He doesn't need comfort to perform. He doesn't need approval to continue. He has become self-validating. Every insult becomes energy. Every setback becomes calculation. Every ending becomes transformation. He doesn't chase status. He doesn't crave recognition. Because his fulfillment is internal. A silent empire within his chest. That's the paradox. Once you stop seeking control over others, you gain absolute control over yourself. And once you own yourself, the world bends to your frequency. That's not mysticism, that's psychology. Because people unconsciously follow emotional order, and your calm is the highest form of order they'll ever encounter. When you stand still, they question themselves. When you remain silent, they start confessing. When you hold eye contact, they look away. Because your stability reminds them of their chaos. And in that reflection, they submit. That's power, the kind that doesn't shout, doesn't chase, doesn't flinch. It simply is. The untouchable man isn't immune to pain. He's immune to panic. He still bleeds, but he bleeds with purpose. He still feels, but he chooses what to feel. He still fights, but only when victory is certain. His calm isn't weakness. It's war in slow motion. His positivity isn't delusion. It's strategy refined. And when the world finally breaks into noise, he watches, because he knows every empire that shouts will fall to silence. That's how you become untouchable, by mastering yourself so completely that chaos becomes background music. Comment this now. I am the calm within chaos. Let it mark the end of weakness and the beginning of sovereignty. Because from this moment forward, you don't live like the rest. You observe, you calculate, you command. And when they ask how you stayed so composed while everything burned, you'll simply smile and whisper, I built fireproof thoughts. That is the Machiavellian calm. That is masculine stoicism refined. That is the cold psychology of power perfected. Be untouchable, be unshaken, be inevitable. And before you leave, comment below your own phrase of power, your personal code. Then like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this is Mental Fort -- where we don't escape weakness. We obliterate it.